One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
What's up, everybody? It's 7:33 now, but thanks for coming into the evening show. I wanted to address one comment right off the bat. Not a bad comment. John C. goes, and I appreciate this. John says, this intro is so awesome. Does anybody know who put this together? That would be me. Obviously, that footage comes from a number of different Trump events. Obviously, I didn't make all that footage. I compiled it, I cut it, I edited, I clipped it, I put it where it's supposed to go. And then the music I found on one of the commercial music services that you can license, and so I licensed the music. And then I wrote the words that gentleman is narrated, and then I paid for a narrator to actually do it professionally, and I had to time it up with the scenes and everything else. So the answer to your question, it's me. I put that together, as I've tried to do often, but people seem to like that one, so I go back to it. I may change up in the future, but it's so... It's right on. It's right on there. So everybody, welcome. Welcome to tonight's show. Before I get into the show, let me just tell you guys that tonight's show is sponsored by Chapter. Most of us think Medicare is something to deal with someday, and that's how I felt as well until recently. I'm turning 65 soon, I have to admit it. And the moment you hit that number, it begins. The mail. The robocalls, the TV ads with actors you barely remember. Everything you do is tracked online, and they know how old you are. And so I started getting these things, and none of it made any sense. And worse, if you make a mistake, and I didn't know this, and you miss your Medicare enrollment deadline, the government makes you pay penalties for life. That is why I'm so glad I found Chapter. They're real deal, fully independent, completely honest, and most importantly, they make Medicare simple. Chapter is the only national Medicare advisor that searches every Medicare plan to find the right one that's right for you, saving you money and hassle. And a simple, free, sometimes people wonder, am I selling something? Nope. In a free, Simple 30-minute call chapter has saved the average Medicare enrollee $1,100. No pressure, no nonsense, just clear, unbiased guidance and completely free for those of you here in Fanfare. So if you're turning 65 like me, or even if you're over 65, don't take chances with your health or your wallet. Call the number on that thing right there, 475-328-3545, and talk with Chapter today. All right, that being said, the theme that I put up earlier, or the thumbnail, I put they aren't ready for this. I don't know about you. I really don't know how you think about things. But I feel in the last couple of days a huge shift. A monumental shift of, I don't give a F what you Democrats think. We don't have one F to give. You F'd around, now you're finding out. I feel like I've got so much stuff to show you. I probably have too much. I probably have stuff that'll carry over till tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll probably be here till midnight. But we'll see. And each segment that I saw today, each bit of news I saw, it just made me just take a step back. Whoa, hey, whoa. And it kept happening. And it's almost like in unison, the entirety of the Trump administration collectively got together and said, you know what? Screw off. And when I show you this, you're going to see a bravado, a courage. What other word could I use? Just complete. They don't care anymore. We're just 5 months in, 6 months in. And right now, people in the Trump administration are feeling their oats to the point where I think they feel they're impervious. They're like, screw you. We're going to get this done. And you either get on a train or we're going to run over you. And I'm serious. We've seen Trump defiant. We've watched him defiant in all the court cases and everything else. We've seen other people. But what I'm going to show you tonight is a swath of people who just have come out the gate swinging. And by the time we're done tonight, I think you're going to agree, this is an administration who really doesn't have one to give. They're done with it. And then we're going to jump over to Rumble, and some of you might not want to jump in because I'm going to have the music to make sure that it coincides with the attitude that you're about to see in these clips. We've had it. We've had enough. We're not playing. And Daddy's home. And, so many people got offended by that today. Screw you. All right, so before I begin the video and the news, let me just show you some of what's been happening since President Trump landed back in the United States. He posted this in reference to Bibi Netanyahu. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but if you haven't, no worries, you're about to see it. And it's kind of long. He said, and I quote, "Breaking news. I was shocked to hear that the state of Israel, which has just had one of the greatest moments in their history and is strongly led by Bibi Netanyahu, is continuing its ridiculous witch hunt against their great wartime prime minister. Bibi and I just went through hell together, fighting with a very tough and brilliant longtime enemy of Israel, Iran. And Bibi could not have been better, sharper, or stronger in his love for the incredible Holy Land. Anybody else would have suffered losses, embarrassment, and chaos. Bibi was a warrior, like perhaps no other warrior in the history of Israel." Maybe one other one. And the result was something that nobody thought was possible. Complete elimination of potentially one of the biggest and most powerful nuclear weapons anywhere in the world. And it was going to happen. Soon, we were fighting literally for the survival of Israel, and there's nobody in Israel's history that fought harder or more competently than Bibi Netanyahu. Despite all of this, I just learned that Bibi has been summoned to court on Monday for the continuation of this long-running, he has been through this horror show since May of 2020, unheard of. This is the first time a sitting Israeli prime minister has ever been on trial. All right, let me just stop there for a second. So President Trump is probably the first person he can talk to who's gone through exactly what Bibi's going through. They're dragging him through the mud. They're trying to put him in jail. They're trying to do all kinds of things to him, just like they did with President Trump. And I didn't know that this thing was still going on. So President Trump says he just found out about it. This is a politically motivated case concerning cigars, a Bugs Bunny doll, and numerous other unfair charges in order to do him great harm. Such a witch hunt for a man who has given so much is unthinkable. He deserves much better than this, and so does the state of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu's trial should be canceled immediately, or a pardon given to a great hero who has done so much for the state. Perhaps there is no one that I know who could have worked in better harmony with the President of the United States than Bibi. It was the United States of America that saved Israel, and now it's going to be the United States that saves Bibi. The travesty of justice cannot be allowed. You find it interesting? I do. The guy goes over there and conducts wartime operations, and they're still going to put him on a trial on Monday. Somehow you didn't tell President Trump that this was going to happen, did you? You didn't tell President Trump that, even though I know you saved our ass once again, and everything worked out, now we're going to get rid of him and put him in jail. Are you serious? After what we just did for your country, this is what you want to do? The deep state's deep. The deep state is deeping. They just go deeping on. They're going to keep deeping. They can't take the losses. They have to keep attacking. This is just kind of weird. Since the bombings took place, we've had both leaders be attacked in different ways, but they just keep coming. Until you excise these tumors, it's going to keep happening. It has to keep happening. They have to do this. Now, President Trump, let me see if the timestamps here align. This came out earlier. And just to go further, or back up a second, because this one was the first one, he posted this. And he posted this, he says, Secretary of Defense, which obviously is in the works of being changed to Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, together with military representatives, will be holding a major news conference tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. No sleep for me, and no sleep for you. 8 a.m. They will be holding a major news conference at the Pentagon. So much for sleeping in. Anyway, in order to fight the dignity of our great American, in order to fight for the dignity of our great American pilots, these patriots were very upset. After 36 hours of dangerously flying through enemy territory, they landed. They knew the success was legendary. And then 2 days later, they started reading fake news by CNN and the failing New York Times. They felt terribly. Fortunately for them, and as usual, solely for the purpose of demeaning President Trump, the fake news, the Times, and CNN, and others, lied and totally misrepresented the facts, none of which they had because it was too soon. There were no facts out. So you understand that. They were talking about stuff that they had, reports that they supposedly had, that nobody could produce because nothing had come out yet. The news conference tomorrow will prove both interesting and irrefutable. Enjoy. The media and the Democrats have a whole lot to worry about. They've got so many problems, and President Trump is just one punch right after the other. He doesn't give a F. His administration doesn't give an F, and tomorrow they're going to drag the media. They're going to drag the media starting at 8 o'clock. And I can't wait to be there. Hope you guys are there as well. Part of the things why the Democrats are in trouble, I saw this. Whew. I don't know if you've seen this. This is getting really, really, really stupid. This is, you probably can't see it all, but it's Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Kathy Hochul, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Bernie Sanders, all congratulating Zohar the Great up in New York. This isn't going to work out well for these people. They're all getting behind this nut job, and this is what they want to push into New York City. I don't believe it's going to work at all. I think they're making a grave mistake in trying to push this. Let's see, SB just sent me something. All right, so it's 7:45. This just got posted now, about 10 minutes ago. Where am I? Okay, I got to push this button. Just in, President Trump has made it back to Washington after an incredibly successful trip to the NATO summit. Trump successfully convinced allies to raise their spending commitments from 2% to a staggering 5% GDP in just one day. Let that sink in. They agreed to spend 2.5 times what they normally spend simply because President Trump showed up at NATO and said, pay up. Pay up. Wow. Wow. All right. That being said, let's get on with tonight's show. There's so much. Now, this first part of this show, first part of this clip here, has no volume on purpose. So don't start posting anything in the chat. Oh, I can't hear anything. There's nothing here. It's a visual. You'll see the words on the screen. Those of you who can't see, maybe somebody can read it to you, but just watch this.
Mayor candidate. He hadn't won yet, but he won the Democratic primary, Zorain Mamdani. So he's saying, this is incredible. He's vowed to kick the, quote, fascist ICE out of New York City, okay? So how do you intend to deal with that? Because I would guess there are going to be a lot of criminals and Iranian cells and whatnot in New York City. The job's not done there. What do you say to this guy?
Good luck with that. Federal law trumps him every day, every hour, every minute. We're going to be in New York City. Matter of fact, because it's a sanctuary city, President Trump made it clear a week and a half ago. We're going to double down and triple down on sanctuary cities. If we can't arrest a bad guy in the county jail, one agent arresting one bad guy, they release him in the streets like New York does every day. We got to send a whole team to look for this guy. And not only that, we're going to send additional teams to look for all the people they arrest. We're going to concentrate in sanctuary cities because we know they're releasing public safety threats and national security threats back to the street. So we know we got a problem there. So we don't have that problem in Florida where most sheriffs work for us. So we're going to double up and triple up on New York. And not only are we going to send more agents to the neighborhood, we're going to increase worksite enforcement tenfold. If we can't arrest them in the jail, you're going to force them in the neighborhood, then we'll find them in the neighborhood. If we can't find them in the neighborhood, we'll find them at the worksite. So game on. We're coming.
So the president signed an executive order just this week threatening to defund sanctuary cities for their policies. Why not just arrest the leaders who are harboring and shielding illegal aliens, actually terrorists, from deportation?
Wait to see what's coming.
Wait till you see what's coming. And what's coming is something they weren't ready for. If you notice in that first clip when he was talking to Larry Kudlow, and guys, if you didn't hear anything, there wasn't anything in that first part. It was the sound of silence, how the border is just quiet, nothing going on at the border. So this thing that's going on, he kind of gave you an inference to it. Because Florida is cooperating, you don't have to have that many agents down here, so you can double up elsewhere. You can do different things, pull them out of Florida. We got you covered down here. Put them where you need to put them. And like he said, we're going to do tenfold in certain areas. It's going to be non-stop. Zohar the Great doesn't, even if Zohar were to win, he doesn't get into office until November. Well, actually, he wins in November if he were to win, and then it would take, I don't know where the swearing-in date is, but it's probably not until January. Good luck, Zohar. That's 4 months from now. Well, no, that's 6 months from now. By then, who knows how many newcomers, I have to check where I am. I have to look at the light, whether it's red or green. It's red. Oh, I'm kidding. Where the newcomers are going to be. There's raid after raid after raid happening. And now, which is freaking, I was waiting to see when it was going to happen. How long it would take to filter down to the white liberal women, the white crazies, what's going on down here in Florida. And so Will Kane did a piece on it today.
All right, meantime, a new migrant detention center is getting a lot of attention, and it's in Florida. The attention is thanks to its very unique security system.
This 30 square mile area is completely surrounded by the Everglades. Presents a efficient, low-cost opportunity to build a temporary detention facility because you don't need to invest that much in the perimeter. People get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons. Nowhere to go.
You guys have seen this clip. I've played it a few times. There's nowhere to go. And you know what else is funny? You can't really break into it. Meaning like all these congressional people that want to go in bars away. I demand to see it. Come on. Watch where you step. Careful. Stay on the path. Don't wander off a little bit. Don't try to get some selfie or something down by the water. Just, I would scare the hell out of them. I would say, make sure you don't kick any rocks. Just better watch out. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Oh my goodness. I would freak with them so much they would want to run out of there. You bringing them city slickers down up in here into the Everglades. Oh man, I would have so much fun with them. I would have them scared and quaking in their boots. And then I would sound, don't let the sun go down on you out here. Like, what do you mean? You see any street lights? No. Like I said, don't let the sun go down on you out here. You might not make it back because unless you know the roads, there's no lights on the roads. It's pitch black in the Everglades. I mean, pitch black. So I would hate for you to run off the road. And if you ran off the road, good luck. Nobody's coming to get you. Just look at this picture.
Nope.
There's nothing. I mean, look at it. As far as you can see, there's nothing out there. Those of you guys who haven't been down to the Florida Everglades, you need to come down just once. You'll get such a chuckle. You get on an airboat and you'll ride around like, oh man, these people are screwed, aren't they? And I don't know why y'all complaining. Some of you liberals out there who may troll in here and watch the show, what's the problem? They'll get 3 hots in a cot. Literally, because it's gonna be hot. Oh, AC, no, that's for the Border Patrol people. That's for ICE. You don't get the AC. You better drink your water and do what you need to do. Oh, in case they don't have a latrine, if they just got Johnny's on the spot, you might want to hover. I'm just telling you, if you go out at night and you got to go do your business, you might want to hover. Oh my God, these people are going to be there. I'll go back to Mexico. Anything you want. I'm seeing these big lizards that want to eat me. Snakes pooping coming out of the pooper. Oh yeah, be careful. Be very, very careful.
Where to hide. It's called Alligator Alcatraz, and it's expected to be operational by next month. So joining me now is the man who came up.
They didn't know that. They didn't know it was going to be that fast. Next month. Bring them in. We got our own airport. How many of these detention centers around the country have their own airports? This has its own landing field that can work 24/7. Think about that. Think about that. They can take people out of any city in the country and have them down here in the Everglades in a couple of hours. Remember the movie Con Air? Load it up. If we can't deport them yet, we got the perfect place to have them wait. You don't even have to go to Gitmo. You don't even have to go to another country, another territory. Just bring them down here to the Everglades. They'll be good.
With this idea is Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier. Mr. Attorney General, thanks for being with us here today. I think before I get into the specifics and details, which I have a lot of curiosities about Alligator Alcatraz, how did this happen? Where did the inspiration come from to convert this spot in the Everglades?
Sure. Well, under Governor DeSantis' leadership, Florida's become pretty good at responding to states of emergency, and that's really what the illegal immigration crisis is. Just last week, we pulled MS-13 members off the streets in Orlando. The week before, it was criminal alien human traffickers and sex predators. We stand by President Trump, and we're going to do everything we can to support that administration in their efforts. Thank God they're protecting American families. But Our success in arrests is filling up the jails quickly, so we need additional detention space. And this location is ideal because of its surrounding area. It's a low-cost, already developed 30-square-mile area surrounded by the Everglades. So Alligator Alcatraz has a nice ring to it, and we're going to get it up and running as soon as possible.
All right.
It is so big, I can't even imagine the expansion ability, the capacity that they could build this thing out. It's all temporary. It's tents. I've seen videos down here on the news. They're showing them build it, and it's literally tents that they're going to be putting these people in. It's June 25th. You know how hot it is down here? I'm telling you. Let me just look on my phone here to give you the feels like temperature, even at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Let me look at this. The feels like temperature right now is still, hold on, it's going to give it to me. Still, you guys probably can't see this, but it's still 96 degrees at 8 o'clock at night. You know, most of us have the luxury of air conditioning and ceiling fans and everything else. Sorry, you're not going to have that in Alligator Alcatraz. And then I was looking at some of the stuff in here, you guys are like, right, that's right. Yeah. Mosquitoes, spiders, ticks. There is so much wildlife in the Everglades. Just look it up and look at all the indigenous animals that are home in the Everglades. And what's really weird is a lot of them will eat you. This isn't like going to a zoo. You're the zoo. They're out there looking at you, wondering if you're going to be stupid enough to step out your tent and make a run for it. Good luck with that.
The number of migrant detentions, I believe, at the start of this administration was something like 39,000. It's currently up to 56,000. There's a stated goal to arrest roughly 3,000 illegal immigrants a day. So you're responding to a need, to a demand for more detention centers, more space. Let's talk about Alligator Alcatraz. How much Everglades surrounds this would-be prison? Like, you're talking about minimal security and natural barriers and elements. Help me understand. Like, how far to civilization?
Yeah, it's miles and miles once you get down there. This is right smack dab in the middle. It was built, back in the 60s and 70s with the idea to be a large airport. There's an 11,000-foot runway which will enable large planes to come in and out that can carry hundreds and hundreds of people as we are.
Yeah, see, that's the part they must be really freaking out. It's got its own big-ass runway. So it's not just like little prop planes. It's got an 11,000-foot runway, meaning they can just bring jets in, and there's really no traffic out there. So they just make sure you get around, Okeechobee and get past the Fort Lauderdale Airport and airspace, and you can just bring them in all day long. All day, just bring them in. Love it. Whoever came up with this phenomenal idea.
Detain and deport them out of this country. But there'll be some light infrastructure. We'll have a perimeter. But at the end of the day, Mother Nature presents the ultimate perimeter. And it's why this is the great spot for a detention facility.
Okay, miles and miles of swamp and alligators and pythons and other natural barriers. What does that mean for security should you build it? Do you need less in the form of guards? Do you need a less secure, less robust perimeter?
You obviously need a less robust perimeter given the natural surroundings. There will certainly be additional. We're going to have staffed guards. The governor has called in the National Guard, the Florida National Guard, to help, along with other staff will support. We're also looking at other locations, at least a couple other throughout the state. We want to get 5,000 beds up and running by next month so that we can...
5,000 beds by next month. They basically decided to create a city in the Everglades. 5,000 beds. They're going to be bringing people down here from all over the place. And I wonder if they're going to, when they get down there, because you won't see many of the people from Congress trying to budge their way into here. First of all, they'll never find it. and they're going to, because they're not going to get permission to land. So they're going to have to take cars, and if you haven't driven in this area, you better get a Jeep. It's in the middle of like flipping nowhere. Make sure you got gas to get home. That's the other thing. It's probably 3 hours in, 3 hours out, and you're probably not going to get, you can't walk into Buc-ee's or something. It's just in the middle of flipping nowhere. So make sure you got your water. Make sure don't stop on the side of the road to go to the bathroom. You don't want to do that. So you city slickers coming down from New York, you want to demand to see the facilities. Good luck. 5,000 beds. That is one immense facility. That's taken all the people out of those hotels in New York. 5,000. And they'll still have room to build on capacity. Now, I saw some of you guys in here were talking about, well, wait till a judge gets in it. What's a judge going to say? You can't use a prison? I'm sorry. You're right. Wait till a judge gets a hold of this. It's going to be very tough for a judge to tell them they can't bring them there. It's not inhumane. You know how I know it's not inhumane? Because there's people living on the streets in Los Angeles. There's people living on the streets of New York and most blue cities who are going to have to adapt to living on the streets during the summer. They don't have, cover and shelter and everything. Down here, you'll have shelter, you'll have protection, you'll have medical ability for people to check out and make sure you're not getting sick. Make sure you don't get any, problems. Things don't go missing. This is one of the best ideas I have ever heard, and I have to commend them for coming up with it, because what's going to end up happening, there's probably going to be a room inside of the facility where you can say, you want to stay here a little bit longer, or you want to opt out. We got planes on the runway right now ready to go. All right, so if you want to leave, let us know, and we can have you on a plane in about 15 minutes. Fred, when's the next one leaving to El Salvador? Oh, okay, 8:15, gotcha. You can be on the 8:15 special. Just sign here. See, everywhere else they have these detention centers. They got to do this, then they got to truck them to the airport, then they got to sit there, then they got to wait for planes, and we got our own runway. We got a runway right there. And we can put you on a plane, even like on a prop plane, and get you into, I don't know, someplace very quick. You can get out of here. You don't love this, do you? You don't want to be here. You don't even want to eat this food. What am I eating? Oh, you're eating gator tail. Oh, and that's going to piss the gators off because you're eating his brothers and stuff. All right, so think about all this stuff. But no, all kidding aside, this is a fantastic idea. And I'm sure there will be people who will try to make a run for it, who don't know where they are. And I hope they give them all the information, like you're never going to make it. There is no chance. There is nobody coming to save you. You can't tell El Chapo to fly a helicopter and meet you over there because we're going to see it coming. So that's going to be very tough. And you're never going to make it to where El Chapo and his boys can pick you up. It's just not going to happen. You got better odds getting a straight flush, a royal flush, than getting across this water and getting over there without getting chomp, 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 chomp. Unless the gators ain't hungry.
And properly support the Department of Homeland Security in their mission. And I got to tell you, Secretary Noem had a great idea looking at the tens or hundreds of millions that the Biden administration was spending to put immigrants up in fancy hotels. That funding is being redirected towards these facilities, towards the deportations, and we're going to get the job done.
It reminds me of something out of a movie. It might be a specific movie. I can't remember, but you fellas are welcome to escape if you like. If you can get past the guards, if you can get past the perimeter, you have to then get past everything that lies in your way in the form of nature. In this case, Alligator Alcatraz.
What was that movie? What we have here is failure to communicate. Some man you just can't reach. That's from what? Cool Hand Luke. Oh, that was okay. So now, my little diversion here. It's begun to sink into the white liberal women. The insane Karens of the world are starting to realize what's going on.
I need somebody to tell me that I'd not just walk upstairs and see a clip on the news talking about Alligator Alcatraz, a prison camp that they're building in the Everglades in Florida to throw immigrants into. Truly, what the fuck is happening when they're in the middle of construction of a prison camp in the fucking Everglades to throw immigrants into, which by the looks of it, of what I saw on the screen, looked just like several rows of cargo shipping containers. They're building a ton of shipping containers that they're going to throw human beings into because they're immigrants. If that wasn't already horrifying enough to throw human beings into fucking containers, Florida had to Florida and be like, you know what, I'll do you one better. Not only are we going to make this disgusting fucking prison camp, but we're going to put it right in the Everglades next to all the fucking gators and joyfully refer to it as Alligator fucking Alcatraz. No, absolutely not. Just make it stop. Make it stop!
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, the white liberal women are about to lose it. Oh my gosh. SV's hitting me up. What you got for me, SV? I knew it was coming. I just didn't know how long it was going to be before they started. He was like, play it. Yeah, that's it. They're whining, crying. The Florida got a Florida. Yeah, that's kind of what we do down here. you forget that, we got Ron DeSantis and we got all this stuff we can do things with, and you're freaking out. Oh, she won't be the last. That was just one that I found. There will be more. Oh, God, no, they're putting them out there with the alligators. What's wrong with alligators? Alligator won't mess with you unless you mess with him or her. Definitely not. You don't want to mess with the lady alligators. They're worse than the men alligators. And I can't speak about the pythons. They'll give you some hug and love. They'll hug you, make you feel better. Oh, and you forget about the panthers. Everyone's worried about the alligators. You're not thinking about the panthers. Big cats. Giant cats. And if that don't get you, then you got the wild boar. And the occasional bear. Oh, it's just one big Wizard of Oz family there. And you guys can whine all the hell you want. You have a choice, though. You do have a choice. And they will find out the choice that they have, because you can either get out or go down to Alligator Alcatraz. Your choice. Your choice. Nobody's going to force you. Well, actually, we will force you, but you have the choice to leave. You just have to do it.
Can't have every illegal housed in our jails, because we actually have non-illegals who need to be housed there when they commit crimes too. So if you're doing the immigration enforcement and you're putting people, and there is a process to it, so they have to go. So if they're temporarily held, then they can be repatriated to their home country. That takes burdens away from the state of Florida and for Florida residents. But this has been an airport there that I think our goal is, if we do buy it, we will probably eventually just eliminate it and try to let the Everglades grow over it. But it's been there for a while and it's been used, and so we had a request from the federal government to do it, and so Alligator Alcatraz it is. And so you will see that be done. You will have, it'll be a force multiplier. It'll help DHS. It'll help our state and local law enforcement with relieving some burden on resources. We'll probably also do something similar up at Camp Blanding, which is where our National Guard headquarters to train there. We have some capacity there. So Kevin Guthrie, Division of Emergency Management, are working on that. So we'll have a formal announcement on both of those very, very quickly.
So it's a new business. It's a new business venture. Ron DeSantis, genius move. Not only are we doing one, we're going to work out another one too. Oh gosh. Oh, Marcus says it names itself. Oh, it sure does. What's this? They better take, where'd that go? It moved so quickly I missed it. You have been served an official warning now. It's documented. What? I don't even know what that means. Official warning of what? What the hell is this guy talking about? Comb your hair, Ron DeSantis. This is awesome. Gator Traz. I don't care. Let's see what else we got. Self-deport or enjoy American detention. Exactly. The Everglades where'd that go? The Everglades International Criminal Sanctuary. There's your sanctuary city for you. Absolutely. Don't forget, I forget. Armadillos, somebody said look out for armadillos. I didn't know they were mean. I didn't know they would do something to you. Free visit to the Everglades Resort includes an airline ticket back to your home country. Yep. Constantine agreed. I ate crocodile in Zimbabwe once. I never had crocodile. I have had gator. They need to shake down CNN leaking classified info. Yep, that's coming as well. Gators and grits are good. Self-deport and avoid alligator Alcatraz. Absolutely. Pythons eat the boars. Pythons will actually take on a gator sometimes. Let's see here. They're eating the cats now. Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. They're eating the cats and now they're gator food. Oh my goodness, this is too funny. I'd leak out to other countries. We really hide our weapons. You know what's funny? I think that we should find out what did they do with that air landing strip for so long. Back in the cocaine cowboys days, maybe. So this could go either way, Mr. Pioli. It tastes like chicken. You talking about the newcomers, or are you talking about the gators? Tastes like chicken. I've had rattlesnake. I don't recommend it. Oh yeah, we got them out there too. Anyone in the South, see, this is something I had to learn. Anyone living in the South near water have gators and snakes nearby. What's so inhuman about the Everglades? Great point. Every single one of us, you see a pond, you see, of any, you have to assume there's gators in it. We know not to get too close to the gators. We know don't walk your dog along the edge because it might be turned into bait. So we know all this stuff. It's crazy. Water, crocodile tear. Oh my God, crocodile tears rolling. Taking a bite out of, okay, you guys are just bad at this point. This is just bad. Yes, I believe somebody's like they will want to leave quickly. I think so too. Given the choice of staying in this hot, muggy detention center versus getting on an airplane and being someplace in an hour or two, yeah. All right, let me continue. Send them back to Costa Rica Jurassic Park. It tastes like chicken. Don't feed the gators. It's crazy. Crazy. Eating snake, that's where I draw the line. Yeah, some people eat gator. Rattlesnake and other kinds of snake. Oh, I forgot about those. The monitor lizards. Those things are huge, too. Absolutely huge. Yeah, heck, there's gators near the hotel. I used to work at Disney. Let me tell you, there's some people who disappeared in some of the lakes up there. They have big signs, don't get in the water. Because stuff happens. Must suck what? Must suck not to go swimming down there. What? Oh, I forgot all about the fire ants. Okay, Robert, you say must suck not to go swimming down there. Who doesn't go swimming? Most of us have, a lot of us have pools, and there's also this big thing about due east called a beach. I don't know if you've seen it, but it kind of goes from Jacksonville all the way to Key West. It's a long stretch of stuff with sand, and people go there and stay in hotels and get on the beach. I'm not sure if you understand what it looks like, okay? So, people go swimming here all the time. Water mocking petting zoo. Yikes. Oh, the union will make... my son's dog got bit with a copperhead. His leg was huge, but he was okay after a few days. Whew, wow. That sucks. Somebody just said, I have never seen one in person. They don't mess around. Nope. It has a complete different look to it, too, when you see them in the wild, because you realize there's no cage and there's no glass or anything like that. And you stare down this large animal, and you're realizing, you want me to go the other way, right? Yes, go the other way, and go the other way fast. Do not challenge it. Sometimes you can get right up on them if they're not, and I don't know if you've seen the pictures of them walking across the golf courses, going from water hazard to water hazard. And, hey, what's up, man? And they just lumber their way across. Just don't mess with them, because they're fast too. Very, very fast. I'll use that as my public service announcement. Gators are fast. Very fast. All right, let's continue. Move on from the Gators, which I think is just going to be just fun to listen to in the weeks and months ahead.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Tim Birch had just left a pretty hot committee meeting with Kari Lake, who's running Voice of America, hired by President Trump. Man, she is one gutsy lady. She is going after him. We had a person that was giving out contracts to friends and all this other stuff. And, of course, she got canned under Trump, first administration, and then immediately hired back by Biden. And she was, and so we found out that, in fact, they in fact fired her and had other questions about just all the corrupt nature and the Chinese communist infiltration, just how bogus these agencies are. Anyway, thank you all so much for sending me here. Keep fighting.
All right, so before we get into this, let me set the stage. Kari Lake, who wanted to be the senator for Arizona, got effed out of that. Wanted to be the governor of Arizona, got effed out of that. And President Trump, she's been a staunch supporter. She's been involved in media. She understands media very well, the ins and outs of it, both sides, from the administrative and the program, and on air. So she's very well versed in media. So he says, you know what? We've got this big thing called Voice of America. So I'd like you to take over Voice of America. And what transpires here in this hearing is just pure gold. If you didn't have a chance to see it today, it was on one of the sub-channels and people didn't even know it was happening, but it was pure gold. What has been exposed and what she has found in the last 5 months is that Voice of America, with its monstrous budget, was nothing more than yet another slush fund for the Democrats. Nobody was looking over there. And because nobody was paying any attention to what Voice of America was doing, it was just doing all kinds of illegal stuff. It was laundering money for the most part. And she now is being chastised because she turned off the spigot. She fired 85% of the employees. And the Democrats are livid again because the money got turned off. So she got hauled into Congress today to talk about her position. And this is when I first began seeing what was going on today, that the Trump administration wasn't taking it anymore. I mean, I saw it earlier with Caroline Leavitt and how she came across. Let me see if there's was there another person I wanted to show you too as well? Oh, this is, where is that? Wait 1 second. Let me bring this other video in as well, because there was you guys know who Steve Witkoff is, and Steve Witkoff is talking about something that probably is going to happen tomorrow or in the next couple days. I want you to listen to Steve, and you're going to get a feeling as to what's going on in the Trump administration.
One of the president's key objectives is that the Abraham Accords be expanded, that more countries come into it, and we are working on that on my team and in coordination with the Secretary of State and the entire State Department. And we think we're going to have some pretty big announcements on countries that are now coming into the Abraham Peace Accords. And we're hoping for normalization across an array of countries that maybe people would have never contemplated would come in. So we're excited for that prospect. That will also be a stabilizer in the Middle East.
So you remember back a couple weeks ago when President Trump went to the UAE and Saudi Arabia, and they were meeting him like a king, and they had royal rollouts and everything else. And now you see what just happened in Israel and Iran, and you're probably starting to put this together and go, oh, I see the breadcrumbs here. You already talked to these people in in UAE and Saudi Arabia, didn't you? And they said, yeah, if you can do that, we're all in. Clean it up for us, and we're in. So today, Steve Witkoff is mentioning they're about to reopen or enlarge. Can you imagine this? They're going to enlarge the Abraham Accords. And so as I watched this, and I was watching the swagger of Caroline Leavitt, I realized something has changed. Something big has changed. And then as I started putting these clips together, which you're going to see, you're going to like, I think they're feeling their oats right about now. So the whole thing that happened today about daddy being home and taking care of things and them freaking out when they heard the term daddy, a lot of what you're going to be seeing in these clips are going to show you that none of them are taking any crap. So let's listen to what Kari Lake did today.
Good morning, and thank you, Chairman Mast and Ranking Member Meeks and members of this House Foreign Affairs Committee. Thanks for having me. My name is Kari Lake. I'm the Trump administration senior advisor to the U.S. Agency for Global Media. Before I get started, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to let you know this opening statement I'll be delivering is a shortened version of a longer version that I have submitted to you earlier and would love to be put into the congressional record. Last December, President-elect Donald Trump called me and asked if I would help reform U.S. Agency for Global Media and the Voice of America, and I said yes. I was honored and eager to help these institutions tell America's story to the world. But within days in my role as senior advisor, it became increasingly clear that reform was nearly impossible. The agency was incompetent and mismanaged and deeply corrupt, politically biased, and frankly, a serious threat to our national security. USAGM oversees VOA, Office of Cuba Broadcasting and grantees like Radio Free Asia, Radio Free Europe, Middle East Broadcasting Network, Open Technology Fund, and Frontline Media Fund, all of which are 100% funded by the hardworking American people. Over the past 15 to 20 years, the agency has become a significant national security risk. They hire a shockingly high number of foreign nationals, and they conduct subpar security vetting. So bad that top intelligence agencies revoked this agency's ability to do even the most basic background checks. So many of USAGM's hires come from countries hostile to the United States. Over the decade from 2010 to 2020, Office of Personnel Management and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence repeatedly flagged severe security failures, but U.S. AGM leadership ignored them. They continued to grant journalists and technicians, many from foreign nations, high-level security access based on falsified documents and incomplete background checks, phony names, phony social security numbers. Even after corrective actions were taken in the final months of the Trump administration, these safeguards were reversed by the incoming Biden administration. The scale of the problem is staggering. During the first Trump administration, the political appointees led by CEO Michael Pack got to work fixing it. And they discovered that out of 150 people who were hired during that time period when they weren't doing appropriate vetting, 500 of them were still out there and they could not find them. They went back and re-vetted everybody, but 500 had gone missing. They could not be located for further screening. Foreign employees with social security numbers that are fake and fake names given top secret access now missing. That keeps...
What were they doing? What was the Biden administration doing? They had used every nook and cranny of the federal government with every budget that they could make. And they were hiding things, hoping nobody would ever see what this agency is doing. Most people didn't even know there was such thing called Voice of America. Never mind the fact that they had 500 unvetted people on the payroll who were security risks, and they were burying them. That should scare the living bejeebus out of you.
Keeps me up at night. My team is working to track them down. Our new security director is working to try to turn this agency around and make it where it's safer. It's a vast problem that we've uncovered. We've also uncovered that the grantees like Radio Free Europe hired people later identified as foreign spies. At one point, they nearly hired more than 20 spies from a nation hostile to America. Those hires were stopped thanks to a timely tip, and I'm happy to give you more information on that in a secure setting. Voice of America has employed individuals with direct ties to hostile nations. They even once paid paid for somebody who worked previously in Russian media writing anti-American stories to come on the staff and continue to write anti-American stories.
If somebody handed you a report that said this stuff, you'd be like, there's no way. There is no way that the American government would be recruiting spies, commies, to put out messaging on Voice of America that's anti-American. This is like otherworldly. I cannot even imagine how this was happening for 4 years. But I guess that's why we see people like Zoran winning a primary in New York City. There was so much BS going on. And nobody, I mean, even though it was the biggest flamethrower and has the biggest reach, you also have to realize nobody was really probably listening to this stuff. It was all a scam. When's the last time you dialed in Voice of America? I have no idea even how to access it. Right now, if you said, hurry up and pull up Voice of America, the only thing I could do is Google Voice of America, see what pops up, and then see what the programming is. I've never been to it, never been to their website, don't know if they have a YouTube channel, don't know. Somebody did. They were conversing with somebody for the gazillion-dollar budget that they had, because she turned it all off, and you're going to see the Democrats are wigging about it. Now, everything she's saying, you would think when she begins, taking questions, that the Democrats would want to know more about this. So, you found spies. Yes, we found spies. Yes, so you found money laundering. Yes, we found money. Nope. Not a single question. But she handles it well.
At one point, a serious security threat to America, an office of Cuba Broadcasting Cuba, was declared to be a national security threat. He was fired, thankfully, but he worked there for quite some time. So how do they get so many foreign nationals in? Well, they abuse the J-1 visa program, which is a pathway to citizenship intended for exchange students and cultural exchanges, students, camp counselors, and au pairs. It's not intended for journalists. And
there it was. It was basically a recruiting scheme to tell the people in other countries where they could go and how they could get here and what would be waiting for them. They knew specifically Americans weren't tuning into Voice of America. Americans listen to Sirius. They're listening to, what's the other one? The one with Joe Rogan on it. All these different platforms, watching videos on YouTube, listening to stuff on Facebook. Nobody's tuning into Voice of America. We're going to be able to tell people in other countries what they need to do, how to take down America. Crazy.
Created severe vulnerabilities, and frankly, it has displaced many, many American workers who could have filled these jobs. VOA also sidestepped their charter to be reliable, authoritative news, instead being riddled with political bias and outright anti-American sentiment. Examples, you mentioned it, Chairman, refusing to call Hamas terrorists, glamorizing Che Guevara, airing campaign-style videos favoring President Biden, even broadcasting a graphic depicting President Trump with a swastika over his face on their news.
Let that sink in. That you and me are funding Voice of America, who are doing nothing but anti-Trump, anti-American stuff. And nobody knew. Nobody even checked. It wasn't like NBC was talking about Voice America. Nope. CBS? Nope. Nobody, excuse me. Nobody on X. What just happened there? Did I hit the wrong button? Hold on. Let me figure out what happened there.
I wouldn't want that, by the way, even if it was President Biden. This is totally inappropriate.
Hold on.
And a ridiculous editorial firewall prevents agency leadership like myself from correcting any of the bias or having any say in the editorial content that goes on the air. We've also got financial
All right, so wait 1 second. I am going to find out why that popped up. I clicked the wrong button somewhere. I have to find it. And then when I find it, I can get rid of it. But it takes me a second here. It's not allowing me to move any buttons on my screen. I know it's one of them. Let me figure it out. This is interesting that I can't find it. And I can't even go to one of my other things. All right, so here's what we're going to do.
management, which I hope we'll go into. $75,000 spent for a COVID study on how Mac computers can be used for social distancing. $100,000 in American taxpayer money to
I'll be right
actually.
Back.
Sponsor a Afghan cricket team. $400,000. For quid pro quo payments to African VOA affiliates, and they actually wrote quid pro quo next to the budget item. $825,000 for a New York music show and $6 million contract for consulting advice that was never even implemented.
Sorry about that. But they felt so comfortable in washing this money and doing. They actually put the words quid pro quo in the check, in the ledger. Just to let everybody else know, hey, this is for the quid pro quo. Yeah, I got that. That's how confident they felt in stealing your money. That they would put the words quid pro quo in the balance ledger. Crazy.
Stories to people, and many times they say, wow, this place sounds like a crime scene. And I frankly have just learned that it is indeed a crime scene. We've learned that there is an active investigation going on at VOA for a series of threatening phone calls that have been coming out, going after one of your colleagues, a sitting member of Congress, with years' worth of threatening phone calls. And they've discovered that those phone calls were coming from inside the Voice of America.
Okay, so it's official. At 8:30 on 625, let me just say this. Oh my God, what must Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and poor Pam Bondi be dealing with? Everybody's screaming for stuff, and every time we turn around, there's another investigation? Yeah, we got these people here at Voice of America, and they're stealing money, and they're threatening members of Congress, so now we got to go investigate that too. And I'm thinking, it was one huge criminal enterprise. As you're hearing this, I'm just wondering what you're thinking at this point, because we would have never thought that Voice of America was a criminal operation. And now, can you imagine, as these different people that have come into the Trump administration, from Linda McMahon to, Kelly Loeffler and all that, and Lee Zeldin, and every single one of them sit down and go, Pam, yeah, we got some stuff here too. What? Yeah, Voice of America? What the hell could they have been doing at Voice of America? Well, they're stealing money, they're doing quid pro quos, and they're actually threatening and doing, that kind of stuff. Hey, can you send a couple of investigators over there? We ain't got anybody else here. Sorry, Pam. We're all filled up. This is what's been going on in the Department of Justice. And we're just getting little breadcrumbs here. She's reading along. Oh, by the way, and I'm like, stop. People need to hear that. Because I don't think Pam Bondi's department had any idea that every nook and cranny of the federal government, basically everybody who got a budget, was stealing. Let's just call it that way. It would be easier to eliminate the people who weren't stealing, who weren't doing crooked stuff. I don't even know what they say. At one point, there was over 400 agencies. 400 different agencies with 400 different budgets. Who got the budget to have the shrimp run on the treadmill? Talk to that person. You guys are probably realizing right now, this is some really, you're right, Ron. It's been happening for decades. All it just kept happening, you're right, was getting bigger and bigger. Decades. How much of your money has been stolen? And it just keeps happening and happening. No wonder they needed to take Trump out. There's no way you could expose all this. I don't even know how far. Remember, they're 5 months in. And every turn they take, somebody's doing something. It literally, Lisa, you're right. At this point, they're going to have to go from a department to department, one after the other, and check every single ledger. And as the other gentleman said, for years. See, whatever Kari Lake uncovered, it didn't happen in the last 5 minutes. I mean, last 5 months. It didn't just happen now. Now she's got access to the books, and she's scrolling with her mouse and going, "You gotta be kidding me. Where's all this money going?" No wonder the 51 intelligence people didn't want anybody messing around with Hunter's laptop. Oh my gosh. No wonder why they didn't want us looking at different things. They couldn't have Trump do this, and now he's tearing them apart piece by piece. The judges are freaking out. Everybody's freaking out because the spigots are being turned off across government. And so they have nothing left but to fight tooth and nail with these judges. The Democrat politicians are meaningless. Let's just wipe them off. Just nothing. And so now their only defense at this point are the judges. And these judges are just they're doing stupid stuff and laying down, they're committing harikari at this point because they're trying to save somebody. I don't think they're trying to save Democrats. Maybe they're trying to save themselves. Maybe some of these judges have been told, either you do this or little Susie and little Biff here disappear. And we're going to do funky things to your wife here. Yeah. Remember President Trump said he sent somebody a picture of his house or whatever? Well, don't think that our government doesn't do the exact same thing. Don't think there's not some deep staters that you open up the mail one day and it's a picture of something and you're like, remember the funeral? Remember the funeral. Those of you guys who know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. Those of you who don't, ask the other people about what happened at the funeral. We still don't know what that was. But you saw everybody's face like, when they saw those notes. I don't know. I think we're in the middle of something we can't possibly grasp at this point.
This place is rotten. It's rotten to the core. President Trump has asked me to go in and help clean it up. And he's also issued an executive order to reduce this agency down to its mandate, to what is mandated, statutorily required. That's exactly what I'm doing. I don't care if they attack me. We're going to make it right for the American taxpayers. And with that, I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
All right, so now I'm going to pause here. We'll get ready to do the jump over on Rumble. This is going to get good as you hear how venomous the Democrats are in asking some of these questions, how pissed off they are. I mean, just vile in terms of everything that they've been doing. And it's starting to get exposed, and now you got a president who is basically telling them, yeah, we're coming for you. In no uncertain terms, we're coming for you. Let me talk to you about, for 1 second before we jump over, with Patriot Addict. All right, so this is a huge deal for you guys. Patriot Addict is back with their best-selling Trump collector bundle for you guys, and it's called the Berry Pack, berrypack.com. All right, you ready for this pack? This is phenomenal. I just want to make sure before I start talking and going off script. This is phenomenal. You ready for this? All right. I'm going to show you all 4 items that you get in the Berry Pack. Actually, I'm going to show you, yeah, there's the other one. All right. Let me do a quick change here. Boom. We got this. So, you get the Trump hat. You get the Trump knife, which I've shown you. Very nice knife. Very sharp. Good weight to it. Good balancing. Large knife, as you can tell. You get this. So you get the hat. You get the Trump knife. It's very seldom I have to show 4 products. Let me get the other 2. You get the Trump flag, which would be very good for 4th of July. You get the Trump flag right here. Make America Great Again. Looks good on your boat or hanging off your flagpole come this summer. You get the flag. You get the hat. You get the knife. And you also get the Trump blanket. Let me just show you this. I guess to get it right. The Trump blanket. You get all these, all four. The blanket, the flag, the hat, the knife. All four. We're calling this the berry pack. This knife it comes as a free gift with the berry pack. All four of these items sold separately are $238, but they're practically giving it away. You get all four: the hat, the knife, the flag, and the blankie right here. You get all four for just $69. $69 for all four of these items. I'm not sure how many are going to be available. They've set aside just a few packs for the fanfare audience here, and you guys here being in the family. I told them you had to do something way different to get these people to act. So if you're interested in it, go ahead and hit the QR code right here, or you can go to berrypack.com. They won't be doing this long. I asked them to do something special. Again, you get the blanket. It's a big, nice blanket. You get this hat. You get the Trump knife. And what did I do with the Trump flag? Hopefully, no, you can't have that. Midas was trying to take it. And let me just put this back up. And the Trump flag. That's if you're not afraid to put it up in your neighborhood. Actually, we got two, so the other one gets to fly. So if you guys want all that just for $69, go ahead and go to the QR code right there. It's a good deal, very good deal. All right, so we're going to be doing the Rumble jump over. Let me do the super chats and put up the link. There's a link. You just go there, or you can go directly to Rumble and just look for me, and you'll be able to join there as well. All right. Need beach towels. That'd be interesting. Yeah, we might have to check out the beach towels. Okay, I like that. Steve says he has a Trump knife, and it's awesome. Let's see here. All right, so let me get ready. Let me put this back up and look at super chats before we go over. So don't forget, if you're not making it over, if you're not coming over for the Rumble jump over, tomorrow morning, 7:30, we'll be getting ready for Pete Hegseth press conference, probably with Raising Cane. We'll probably be there with him. I doubt President Trump is going to be there. Maybe he might make an appearance, but it looks like it's just going to be Pete Hegseth and people from the Defense Department. Be interesting if Caroline Leavitt shows up. I would love to see if that would be the case. But 7:30 in the morning. Get some rest. Be raring to go early. The boss don't play, so we got to be ready. Okay, let me do this. Get this ready. Move this up. All right, here we go. What are the lyrics to your opening intro? The one man? I can post it if you want to see the one man stuff. Sure, I can do that for you. Ron, thank you very much. SV, hold on. SV just texted me. I think it was SV. Let me just make sure. I always check because he and Ashley end up posting me things. SV goes, "We ain't never getting any sleep." No sleep. just like your dad waking you up. You think you're going to sleep in, your dad wakes you up. Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. Papa G95. My question is, if the bombs weren't successful, then why would Iran agree to a ceasefire? I said that earlier. And that there was a baby at Fordo. And the greatest question at the world for their peace. Just a straight time for Q. Yoshi, 106 degrees in Tennessee at 8 p.m. Yikes. That's hot. That's inland, too. Todd Doyle, let the Mikasukis and Seminole run to prison. Don't have to meet federal requirements. I don't think that's, I almost said the I word on YouTube, which would have been horrible. Native American land. Michael Guthrie, no activity, border security is a new Maytag, man. V for Vendetta, Florida has both alligators and crocodiles, along with wild hogs, pythons, Oh, I forgot about the snapping turtles, poisonous snakes, spiders, and so much more to offer those who dare to enter. Welcome to our great state of Florida. Yeah, you want to go traipsing around the Everglades? Good luck. Good luck, I'm telling you. Dave Ratton, this is similar to the prison near the Arctic Circle. No fences. If you try to escape, you'll freeze. You're done. KRO, Barry, don't forget the flesh-eating spiders, brown recluse. Oh yeah, people have also let piranha loose in the shallow water. Skeletons have been found. There's all kinds of stuff out there. All kinds. Dave Rattan again, this is similar. Oh yeah, you just read that. Jeanette, here's a song to play. We're not going to take it. I think, did I play out a couple? No, I played something else by Twisted Sister. But thank you. Starfleet, remember the movie Anaconda starring John Voight? He can be the jailer of Alligator Alcatraz. I just love the name. Zeta Paul, request The Legend of Woolly Swamp by Charlie Daniels. That, I didn't even think about it. That would be a good song. That I played the song from Warrant a couple days ago. Papa G95 had a question early you never answered. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't see all the questions. Maybe you... sorry. Mama Tracy. The Dems really invest in Depends because they're doing nothing but pooping their pants right now for the next 5 months. Wait till you see the rest of what I got to show you. Read the word daily. Thank you. Better yet, while they're on their way to Alligator Alcatraz, they can show them videos of the area and then give them the choice of where they'd like to go. Oh, in advance. Like they do with timeshares. Hey, we're about to take you on a tour, but here, let me show you what your new home is going to look like. So right now, before you get on this plane and end up where your new home is, you can opt out for door number 2. Right to Sakat or wherever. Either way, we don't care. Just get out. Mr. Mike, all you got to do is play the Alligator Alcatraz video and you'll see all the Karens of the world. Oh my God. Oh gosh. Captain Danny, let me see if I can raise that up because of that. Okay. Florida Everglades is one of the most hostile environments on the planet. One catch, however, if the critters don't get you, we rednecks on airboats will. You are so true. We've been talking about the animals and stuff down there. Can you imagine just how many bodies are out there? I mean, we've heard about what people have done in Jersey swamps and things of that nature. Oh my God. You talk about, I ain't even going to go there. That's just crazy. All right, so I'm going to play the break, and we're going to jump over to Rumble and finish this night out. Got some more good stuff to show you guys, and I think you're going to like it. So and let me just tell you, I might as well tell you now, there's some strong music we're going to be talking about. Strong music we're going to be playing. So be ready. I see Trump just... he just featured Kari Lake as well. So you're going to see this Kari Lake piece. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I have to wait to play it after we get to Rumble because if she says something, she says something and the entire room erupts. So if you haven't seen it, you're about to see it. All right, we'll see you guys over there in a second.